is real, yeah. There's so much to be said. We're gonna take our time. We're gonna change the world.
You are tuning in today to This Needs to Be Said, TNTBS, and I am your host, Catherine Waddell. There is such a need for people to be able to be truthful today. We've been tactful all around the world, and in the midst of that, trying to fit in so we conform. We want to be accepted. Then one day you ask yourself, what is my truth? While digging through a lot of baggage gathered from wanting to belong somewhere and not sure what you believe, there's a crying out for all those things that should be said that are not being said. No longer will we pretend that there are no issues to address or that we are only going to talk about certain ones. This show, coupled with our blog site and our website, will be the beginning of you finding your way. There is an elephant in the room. Let's talk about it. You were thinking it? We're going to talk about it. Happy Labor Day to everyone. I think that's kind of an oxymoron. You get the day off for Labor Day, and then when you go to work, you don't work. I don't know. But welcome to the show. I'm your host, Catherine Waddell. This needs to be said. There is an elephant in the room, and we're going to talk about it. Today we're talking with someone that is living their passion, and they're sending a message through their music, and we're going to find out what all is love means. As I've been talking with Brandon Felix over the past month, probably by now, back and forth and trying to get him onto the show. We're going to hear some of his music today, but then we're going to find out what is his message behind All Is Love. It may seem very simple, but I don't think it is. I want to find out what his statement means and what do we need to do to help him get this mission going or keep it going. We're going to take a quick break, but then we're going to come right back and we're going to talk with Mr. Brandon and listen to some of his music. In fact, I'm going to let us listen to one of his songs, Marvelous, as we take our first break.
Oh, man. I'm just feeling like greatness right now, you know? You ever just have one of those days where you just wake up and everything just goes your way for some reason?
Thank you for tuning in today to This Needs to Be Said. There is an elephant in the room. Let's talk about it. Now, you all know how passionate I am about people living their passion. And today we're going to be joined by Brandon Felix. We just heard his song, Marvelous, and I like that little beat. I was bobbing my head over here. I almost didn't remember to come back from the break, but here we are. We're going to welcome him now at this time for him to share his passion with us about his message and his music. Welcome, Brandon. How are you doing today?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm fine. How did it feel you were listening to your song over there? Were you bobbing your head?
Yeah, definitely was.
Well, tell us a little bit about you, like where are you from? And, of course, we want to know where does your love for music come from. But let's start out with where are you from originally?
Well, I'm from the Bronx, New York. Born and raised here. And yeah, my whole life I've been in the Bronx. I traveled through our other boroughs, of course, but I'm really a New York boy.
Okay, just a New York boy. Well, where does your love for music come from?
Well, for me, it's an overall love for art, but music being my first love and first introduction to a lot of it really comes from my uncle, who was a DJ Khaled, when I was younger. Was just always around my uncle and looked up to my uncle in a lot of ways. Just thought, he was the coolest person ever. The way the style of dress, to him being a DJ, going back when like Big Tigger was on Zach City's Basement, my uncle was on it.
Okay.
So me watching all that stuff and growing up and being around it, that really was my first introduction to music, especially hip hop music.
Now you said you have a love for all the arts, so let's get into that a little bit more.
Well, growing up, I went to a talented and gifted school down in Harlem, and what they did was they pushed us not only excel academically, but find ways to artistically express ourselves. So a lot of my early years were spent in the art room. I was really big on just visual arts, Every year we put together play productions, and I acted. In the 4th grade, I played the Pirate King for the Pirates of Penzance. In middle school, the Metropolitan Opera House came to the school, and we created our own play from scratch. So, I mean, a lot of my time was spent in various avenues of artistic expression, where, you know, later on it moved into film, moved into clothing design as I went into high school, graphic design, and all over.
So how has that helped you as an adult?
How it's helped me is I don't look at life from one avenue. I see it from many different perspectives. I think one of the things that I think about all the time is my freshman year of high school, I had a art teacher named Mr. Muzon. And first day we went into his class, you know, we all get in his class, and he comes and he tells us, he asks us the question, what is an artist? And we're all just like laughing, joking with him, like, okay, an artist, are you serious? And he's like, no, seriously, I want to know, what is an artist? So people start raising their hands, and they start telling them, oh, a painter, an illustrationist, you know, a poet, a musician, whatever, different things. And he cuts us off at the end. He's like, no, it's much, much, much simpler than that. And he says, to be an artist just means to create. Then he says, everyone in the world is an artist. He says, you know, you speak, you create a sound. You know, you move, you dance, you create a movement. Everything you're doing, you're constantly creating. You wake up every day and you create your own life. And it's just that's been my philosophy.
I like that. I'm making a note. Didn't plan on writing a whole lot of notes because I was, you know, just going to bask in you living your dream. But I like that. What is an artist? And it's just, you said someone who creates?
Yeah, to create. That's all it means, to be an artist. And everyone in the world.
Wow. That's simple and profound at the same time, that you would make it harder. Like, yeah, you know, why don't you know this? Or, you know, yes, all, you know, this big person naming lights or whatever. And it could be anybody. It could be somebody just, you know, old lady riding a bus or a 2-year-old. Now, you have on your page 2 organizations. Let's talk about those. Now, you know, I want to know, what is All Is Love? What does that mean?
Okay, All Is Love. It is essentially, as a company, it is a multimedia company that is dedicated to promoting the idea of self-sacrificial and service-giving love. So what that means, and what I find, you know, in my walk of life, is that the big problem with, I would say, American culture, I can't really speak for anywhere else, is that we're very self-centered. It's all about me. It's all about, I can get it now.
So.
Push, shove, get out of my way. Right? So,
say it's not so.
Yeah. And I think that's the problem. That's the reason why all other countries hate us. That's the reason why divorce rates are going up. That's the reason why a lot of things are happening, is because we are so self-centered. And
not us in the South. You don't mean us in the South, do you?
I mean, I'm talking about American pop culture. When I talk about America, I talk about popular culture. You know, the stuff that gets sent overseas, the stuff that on a mass marketed level, what is seen. You know, and we just, you know, we're so self-centered, and we teach people to be self-centered. And I want to teach the complete opposite of that. I want to teach that if I love you not because you deserve it, but because I love you. And I love everyone, and I don't come first in this equation, but you do.
Oh, no, we don't think about that. No, we don't think like that. So, ouch.
Yeah. And I mean, when it comes to All Is Love, is just, you know, as a multimedia company, it puts out music, videos, working on some fashion. My grandfather's a jeweler, so there's a jewelry line coming out. There's a lot of things coming out from All Is Love, but it's all just promoting that same idea. Various artistic mediums, yeah.
So how did you, I mean, I get the concept, but, like, what made you think of, okay, this is a great name, All Is Love?
Okay. Actually, it all started, it originally started with, in high school, we had started a clothing brand named Lethal Inspiration. And we had started a blog when we were first putting up our stuff. And my partner, Squeaks, at the time, it was the Rev Run, Run's House was on. And, at the end of every Run's House episode, he's like, God is love, Rev Run, right? So Squeaks signed off, I guess, on our blog post. And he was like, God is love, Rev Run. Well, no, he got us up Squeaks. And I was like, that's cool. And I mean, we're both of us Christian boys. But I want to just find a way, how can I universalize, you know what I mean? That,
okay.
Because right now, a lot of people, you say the word God and they just like, oh, get away from me. I don't know, it's become like a taboo subject when it should be something.
Don't say God or Jesus. Don't you do that. No.
Yeah. So I found that I can talk to anybody about love. I can talk to an atheist. I can talk to an agnostic about love. And we can talk about the same morals and the same beliefs. And I believe that even atheists believe in God. They just don't give it that name. Because if you see a father with his child, you see that love, you see that happiness. You get a cooked meal from your grandmother. That's love. That's God.
I know, right?
But people don't want to label it that. People don't want to label it that, especially in our current day society. So I just label it with love. And as I've grown up, I've looked around and I've noticed love and I've noticed God all around me. From the grittiest street corners in New York City, I'm finding some little art or, a little flower that's coming up through the concrete, or, some graffiti on the wall that just really evoked the message from you. And from that to, actually, being in church or a spiritual setting, all across the board, I've seen, love. I've seen beauty all around me. And so I believe that love in God, and He exists in all things.
In all things. I like that. We're going to take a quick break. I want to play Pandora when we go out for this break. I like all of them. I find myself, if I know when I like a song, when I first hear it, is if I allow it to repeat, because you sent it to me, I downloaded it, and on my laptop, if I don't push stop, it'll repeat itself. And I'm sitting there and I'm going, man, this is a long song. And I look and I'm saying, no, I've listened to it 3 times. And it's just because usually I'm listening to get the feel of it. Where do I need to play it? And then I just kept working. And I forgot I was supposed to be listening to the song, to see where it's going to fit in the show. And I'm like, okay, I'm just bobbing my head. And my sister was walking by, well, what is that you're listening to? Oh, I'm interviewing this guy on Monday, So it's I like it. It's not, you don't have to shoot somebody up and rob anybody, and and it's okay, And your other video that you sent out through email, I'm gonna get some information from you so you can share it with the audience, so they can go and get it too, or even request it from one of us by the end of the show, because I like that. I was like, okay, what did he just send me? Where's the beach? Okay, and I'm watching this. Okay, now I gotta watch it again, And so I like what you're doing, and we'll talk some more about your message and your music when we get back from the break.
Yeah. I want you to go with me.